Welcome to the program. There is the People's Bench. We are coming to you from Game Suits here in Riverside, Nairobi. Again, I am your host, Fred Ogueno, as usual. Tonight, I'm privileged to have Professor Fred Ogola, who is a commissioner with the People's Restorative Justice Commission. He's a human rights defender. He says it the way it is without mincing words. We are here to talk about all these things. And again, remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Fred Ogueno Live or at the People's Bench, and you will be getting this kind of conversation anytime we upload them. I also like to acknowledge our viewers from the United States of America, as well as United Kingdom and across East Africa that have been that are always tuned and watch this conversation. We appreciate your comments and we appreciate your contribution. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much, namesake.
Welcome to the People's Bench, my namesake.
You know, it's a nice conversation to talk about.
Yes.
Fred Ogueno.
Yes.
Hosting Fred Ogola on the People's Bench.
Yes.
Fred Ogola, who is the People's Economist and the People's Commissioner.
I hear you.
And on the People's Bench. Can you imagine how all that adds up?
Very interesting.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yes. Everything is pro people.
Yes.
The bench by the people.
Yes.
For the people.
Yes.
From the people.
Yes.
And with the people.
Yes. And the people listening.
And the people listening.
Yes.
Karibu sana, my brother.
Thank you.
You may introduce yourself briefly to our audience, particularly those who may not know you.
So I'm Professor Fred Ogola. I'm an economist, strategist, and a governance expert. Mostly people know me. I was a professor in Strathmore for more than 12 years. But also I practice economics for European Central Bank, among other places. But mainly, I would say I'm a teacher, yes. Simply said.
Yes.
And of course, I have a passion for human rights. I have a purpose for rule of law, because that's why I call myself a governance expert. Mm-hmm. Yes. Another
time you were on record as saying that you are a professor without a job, the only jobless professor. I'm glad that...
You know, Fred, when we were going to the run-up to the 2022 elections,
yes,
I looked at the bottom-up economic model. I took that book and read it with a tooth comb. And then I went to the media and told people that if we elect William Ruto on this model, Kenyan economy will go bad. Then people thought because I'm a Luo, I was actually campaigning for Raila. But that was not the case. You see, we differ with Raila now on principle, nothing personal, but on principle. But then William Ruto called me and told me he will be president. And he told me if he becomes president, his first job will be to fire me. So I thought he was a joke. So on 13th of September 2022, he lifted the Bible and put it down. On 15th of September, 2 days later, I received a letter from Strathmore asking me that I should explain why I cannot be fired. And there I am, I was fired. And that's why, Fred, I am not bitter about that. But I'm trying to tell us we are in a government where the professional dissent is not allowed. I remember the countries where some of our viewers from the US, UK have gone to. Professional voice is highly respected because they help to improve governance. So look at how the economy is performing. Can you give any suggestion in this government? Look at how both professionals' careers have been done away with. Look at even Kome. Kome was a profession in the police. He has to defend the despotic government. He loses his job. Look at now the issue of Langat and Kanja. There's a lot of mix-up. Even if you look at now Murkomen, he has to talk things which he cannot say. No. When you're having a president who has won a trophy of being #1 liar in the world, then if you join his government, you must also become a very good liar to keep the government running.
Come on.
When you try to say the truth, like now people say Gachagua is a truthful man, which I don't believe, but nevertheless he's a truthful man in some ways, then you start getting into trouble with government, not just Gachagua. Gachagua is not my idol. For me, I believe that we follow Christ, and that you follow me as I follow Christ, and I will follow you as you follow Christ. So that's how professional dissent is taking place. Now, let me give you some examples. The Kenyans in the US know that most American presidents went to Harvard. And therefore, they respect. Obama was a Harvard graduate. People like Jeff Kennedy was a graduate of Harvard. Obama's daughters were actually admitted in Harvard. But Trump tried to apply to Harvard, he never got a chance. And his kids, Trump's kids, tried to apply in Harvard, they never got to Harvard. So Trump is anti-Harvard. In the same way, we have William Ruto in Kenya here, which is somebody who is very anti-professionalism. Look, when you hear that a class 4 and a class 6, like Farouk Kibet and Oscar Sudi, are the chief advisors, those people never went to school. What do you expect from this government? Does he like professionals? If you are a good leader, you must like professionals. Moi was a professional, he was a teacher. William Ruto is the single president in Kenya who is not a professional. Kenyatta was actually a writer, isn't it? Which book has Ruto written? Kenyatta worked at Nairobi Water Company as his first job. And that's why he earned the first money. So he worked in Nairobi Water Company. Do you know Ruto's first job? An MP. Moi was a teacher. Uhuru Kenyatta was an economist, but Uhuru Kenyatta also worked in KCB, but also worked at Kenya Tourism Board, isn't it? These are people who knows how to wake up in the morning and go to work, to receive a warning letter from a boss, to be supervised, to deliver results. Ruto, since he joined politics, he's never worked anywhere. So Ruto only knows politics. He does not know governance. He doesn't understand economics. He doesn't understand leadership. And that's why Ruto asked very strange questions in his leadership. Remember when the Gen Z asked him, one term, what did he respond? He asked them, where am I going? Isn't it? A leader cannot ask, where am I going? Leader should ask, why should I go? Because how to go is simple. Board a matatu, take a flight. This is very easy. If he asks, why should I go? We'll tell him why he should go. One, we went to the seat and told him, dissolve parliament and cabinet. Did he do? No, he brought a broad-based government. We told him, bring Linda Mama back. Did he bring it? No. We told him, bring Edu Afia back. Did he do that? He didn't. We told him, take us back to pre-22 education fees. Did he take us there? No. Everything we told him, remove house levy. It is there, isn't it?
But he's building houses, my brother. See, he's launching houses every week. How comes you are saying that he's not doing something?
No, Fred, the truth must be said. I've told you, William Ruto is number one liar. Ruto said that day that if we want him to go, he has a good plan. So you must bring a better plan. Isn't that what he said? And he said his plan is using affordable housing to create 50,000 jobs, isn't it? Fred, you don't live in James Street, isn't it? So you live with people.
Yes.
Do you know any relative of yours, any neighbor, any friend of yours who is working in affordable housing?
I don't know. I thought maybe your neighbor is.
Do you know 250,000 is more than the number of polling stations in Kenya? We have 37,000 polling stations in Kenya. Meaning if we have 30,000 polling stations, for example, it means that every polling station may have at least 3-4 people working in affordable housing, isn't it? Do you know, if it is the case, then everyone should be knowing anybody. Me, I don't know anybody. I only know on my WhatsApp people are full of asking, Professor, nitafutie kazi. Professor, look for me a job. I'm sure you have the same WhatsApp group, isn't it? So how comes we only know people who are jobless, but you know nobody who is working in affordable housing? At least policemen. Do you know how many policemen are in Kenya? There are 45,000 GSU, NYS, isn't it? And we know at least one who is my neighbor, who is my friend, isn't it? There are 45,000 only in Kenya. How can we have 250,000 employed people and you don't know any? There must be a lie. Secondly, Fred, you know, as an economist, now people's economist, numbers don't lie. Do you know that construction sector during the time we're using affordable housing has shrunk by 17%, shrinking? And how do you tell that? The consumption of cement has gone down by a big percentage, meaning that 15 million metric tons of cement, production of cement has gone down by 15 million metric tons of cement. What does that mean? We have lost 15 million 50 kg bags of cement in terms of production and consumption. If you multiply a bag of cement at 1,250, isn't it? That means we have lost a revenue of 1.87 trillion in revenue from just selling cement in the year 2024.
I hear you.
You understand?
Yes.
If you take just VAT, we have lost a VAT of 379 billion just in VAT in terms of taxes. So how much can you do with 369 billion? All Kenyans can line up and you can give everybody 1,000 shillings each. Even mtoto ambayo iko kwa tumbo. That's how serious it is.
I hear you, Prof. I hear you. My question is this.
Yeah.
Some of these problems did not originate and began with President William Ruto.
Yeah.
There were grand corruption. You remember issues to do with the Eurobond during Uhuru Kenyatta. We had grand corruption during President Kibaki's time. We had a lot of human rights violations. You remember Rivayala, one of your friends, Matiang'i, who now want to become president, was associated with the killings, during his time.
Yeah.
Why didn't we see Kenyans take to the streets? Why must these things start with President William Ruto? Why should we judge him differently?
So first of all, I want to say, before I answer your question, why we set up the People's Restorative Justice Commission. Yes. Because we have had so many commissions being formed. Truth and Justice and Reconciliation Commission, we've had the WAKI, we've had many of them. But normally they go to Parliament and somebody has a technical issue why they cannot be implemented. So we are saying that because people have been using the existing representative to do this work, now we do it's for people. So there's nobody who will go to Parliament and throw it away. We are going to create an open portal so that you can bring those cases of Uhuru, if you say he had the cases. Matiang'i told us he's willing to appear before us as a witness for the cases in Yala. Even we'll ask William Ruto, let him also bring the cases of the previous regime and bring them. We are going to take his also.
Where
so
do you
any
draw the
Kenyan,
powers?
Sorry?
You do have the powers to do so.
Article 1 of the Constitution. You can exercise it directly or indirectly. And in fact, if you look at Article 48, subsection B, says, normally people think the DPP should be the one to prosecute those crimes, isn't it? But also the Constitution gives you right to do private prosecution if the public prosecution fails. Because, Fred, the Constitution is not important when there is state failure. Do you know the Constitution cannot be powerless in the face of a president like William Ruto? The Constitution even has a way on which he can go home. Do you know that? Even if Parliament don't impeach him, there is a way on which Ruto can still go home. You understand me? So even the issue of prosecuting the historical crimes can be done.
Yes.
But let me come to the issues of Matiang'i. I don't think I want to talk about Matiang'i. Because as a People's Commissioner, I will be waiting for him because he said he's ready to come. So we'll ask him all the questions. And you know what's happening? It's going to be a public hearing where you bring the petition. It's on the public portal. People can read. People can ask him questions. Hakuna mambo ya kusema you are coming to Parliament. There will be people seated. Anybody who wants to present themselves, like now, tomorrow, we are going to be in our retreat to look for modalities. There will be an open place.
Who is funding your...
Well, we are going to rely on very many well-wishers. We have begun by putting on our own money because people really will say they don't have money. But Kenyans will also be able to willing, if at all we have the impact they want, because we don't want to sit there forever. We are initiating it because your work is to start and leave. Funding will come. We believe it will come. We'll talk to so many organizations and see how we can be funded. But also what's happening mainly, so long as we are volunteering our commissioners, there'll be lawyers, some of them have agreed to do the work pro bono. At the same time, we have some other people who have petitions which they have a lot of interest with. We also believe that should we be able to recover some assets which would have never been recovered, we can be able to seek state intervention that if we recover certain assets, we can actually get a percentage to be put in the commission to help recover more because these guys don't recover nothing.
I hear you. I believe that your chair is Justin Muturi,
yes,
the former Attorney General.
Yeah.
He was there during Uhuru's time.
Yes.
During that time, we saw a lot of atrocities.
Yes.
We saw the violation, the people whose rights were violated during virus. You remember,
Yeah.
you were here in this country. People are asking themselves that why now? He participated and campaigned for the current President William Ruto.
Let me tell you, if you say that, the issue of Justin Muturi, before I sat in that commission, I asked very many people, even human rights defenders, I've not seen any scandal that the former Attorney General has committed as an individual. In fact, let me tell you, if he has, I'm challenging Kenyans, bring that petition before the commission.
Let me
In
remind
fact,
you,
as a
yes,
commissioner,
yes,
he can actually excuse himself so that this thing can be prosecuted. Even you, Fred, on Twitter somewhere, on Facebook somewhere, someone has said something about you. But you see what's happening? The issue when Uhuru was there, he was a speaker. And as a speaker, he was in parliament, isn't it? Of course, he has been, actually that's the value we are getting from him. He was telling me, like TRGC report, the one for Truth and Justice, TRGC report, he told me there is some amendment which was being done in parliament by Duale, which he wasn't very happy about. And that amendment is the reason why we are forming this commission, so that we are not taken through that pipeline of just commissions and report and they are on the shelf. But I want to tell you, Fred, can you judge our chair after you have seen what has been done? And I'm sure he cannot take this position if he knows that you have something that raises serious questions. If you look, for example, another commissioner is Dan Manzo. Dan Manzo has been a human rights defender as a senator in the Senate. Some things he's trying to do which you can do in the Senate. Look at the lady called Asha, who is another a fellow commissioner. You know Asha very well. Asha is a young lady, is a young lawyer who has very clean track record. Yours truly, Fred Ogola, is here. Tell me what you can take me to court for. I can look at Ruto on the face and tell him, you have stolen.
Who else is a member? Martha Karua?
No, we would not allow the political principles to be there as of now. Justin Muturi is there to offer leadership. We don't know how long he'll stay there because he's a principal in the opposition, but he has a clean record, I can tell you.
I know time is running out, my brother.
Yes.
But before we finish with Justin Muturi,
yes,
you remember the Security Amendment Bill, I think
yes,
it was 2016, if not
yes,
2017,
yes,
the controversial Security Amendment Bill that was passed in Parliament. You remember how chaotic it was, you know? Members of Parliament literally fought one another. And after it had been, after the session had been postponed to the afternoon, came Justin Bidan Muturi, and he presided over the passing of that controversial Security Amendment Bill. He did not refuse, he did not question it, he did not speak about it, just because it was not affecting him directly. Now that the shoes are pinching him, now that it's not comfortable, my question is, on behalf of the Kenyans, that why should we, trust him to lead that commission?
I think, Fred, these questions are legitimate questions. And that's why when someone puts themselves into the public, they are due for interrogation. I'm sure if he just resigned and went to stay in Embu, you could have not asked this question. In fact, when they come to some of these positions, they give themselves a chance to be questioned. And I'm asking Kenyans, the portal, Fred, will allow you to upload whatever you want to upload, whereby even how you upload the petition, we will see what action was done. If you see it being biased, then question it. Because sometimes Parliament do not belong to a speaker. Parliament belongs to their owners. And in fact, please, applaud this man for resigning from a government that is abducting people. Do you know, Fred, how sweet it is to be a minister for public service? And he resigned and left. Actually, not resigned. He talked things forcing the president to fire him. And he told them he's not afraid. You understand? You know, sometimes when we are an in-group or an out-group, the other people are bad. I have never sat next to Justin Muturi for the rest of my life. But when we began this commission, I went to so many meetings when he was chairing, when we were working on it, and I saw leadership. And I saw someone in the foresight. And he was able to guide us on very key issues. And at the moment, I want to postpone because it's not very good to discuss my fellow commissioner here. Maybe what I can do is that next time, it could be nice for you to come to the people's bench so that you can also feel the heat
I will invite
that you're putting me through. You know, it's good to, by the way, he will come. And he's not a media shy.
Yes, please.
He's not media shy. I think it will be nice for him to come.
Yes.
But what I can tell you is that not putting this thing to be a Justin Muturi issue, I can tell you there's a goodwill in the commission.
I hear you.
Look at, we brought young people like Asha. You think Asha will allow us to sweep something under the carpet? And do you think me will allow something to be swept under the carpet? I've heard people saying, someone sent me a message, we're telling Professor, we are happy on that commission, so we have faith in that commission. But someone also told me, I'm happy Justin Muturi is there, I have faith in that commission. And of course, there will be naysayers. I'm sure he knows William Ruto more than we know, isn't it?
I hear you.
He knows Uhuru Kenyatta more than we know. And what he said, he's open to anybody to bring any petition.
I hear you.
If there's a time Kenyans will say he's not fit to serve, he can say, let me excuse myself and allow the commission's work to continue. Remember, it is the people's commission. Even if he doesn't stay in, it will continue without him. Yeah.
I hear you. In the spirit of moving this conversation forward because of time, President Ruto is saying that give me time. Look, I promised. The cost of unga is down from 260 to 160. He says that affordable housing is here. He says that SHA is working. Now Kenyans can enjoy free medical services. He says that free education is here with us. Why don't you give him 5 years? He finishes. Then, if you want to get him out, you can do that.
Fred, when Kibaki was the president, when the economy was booming, did Kibaki have to convince you that there was employment booming in Kenya? Did he ever call a press conference and said, Kenyans, you are getting more jobs now? Did you hear Kibaki telling you that the business environment was doing well? Did he ever talk about the ease of doing business in Kenya? Now, if you look, forget about that. In terms of ease of doing business in Kenya, since Ruto took over, Kenya is only better than South of Sudan, which is the last board in Africa. If I'm wrong, go check the statistics. It's not about, they are not meant with me. Go to Kenya Bureau of Statistics. They're all there. So the president, I told you, he doesn't know how to manage the economy. In fact, the president thinks that politics is more important than the constitution and is more important than the economy. When Gen Zs gave him those orders, what did he do? He brought Raila Odinga inside government, isn't it? That's a political move. That's not an economic move. Broad-based government, by the work being broad, it has more bills, isn't it? It has become more expensive. It is fat. It's a fat government. A fat government to maintain, you need more resources. Yet the economy is doing very badly. Now look, State House budget has doubled, which means we have 2 heads of state. You understand? You look at the office of the deputy president, it has increased because of this thing called empowerment. So the president has not focused on the priority of the economy. And Fred, if you allow me, the Kenyan economy has got very easy problems to solve. The first problem is that we have very high interest rates. When there's high interest rate, even default in the banking sector is very high. Do you know Kenyans are now using fridges, microwave to get a loan? Before, the use of car as a collateral to get a loan was very high. You understand? But now, somebody uses a microwave and a water heater and a fridge to get a loan.
But President Ruto brought a Hustler Fund.
No.
Kenyans
Hustler Fund, just allow me. So interest rate is very high. The second thing, inflation. Remember, our interest rate is 24%. China, the interest rate is 2.9. So can you compete with the Chinese? Korea, Japan, Singapore, they're around there. You come to US, it's around 4.9%, isn't it? Inflation in China is 0.2%. 0.2. In Kenya, inflation is 5.2%. So what I'm trying to say, inflation is a problem, interest rate is a problem, exchange rate in Kenya is a problem. And then lastly, we are having the issue of the purchasing power of the shilling. They are a magic for it. It's production. We must produce. If we are not producing anything, this affordable housing is not production. Affordable housing cannot produce a job. Affordable housing produces a casual job. Remember that affordable housing has led to loss of jobs. The banking sector, there's a lot of recoveries whereby your salary is being slashed to go to affordable housing, so you cannot service your mortgage, then your houses are being sold. So the president has created a lot of problems for people. Even as the military, like now on Sabasaba Day, we are telling the military and the policeman, boycott this government and join us. I'm willing to become the commander-in-chief of all the peaceful protesters in Kenya.
You're going to lead?
Yes, I'm going to be the commander-in-chief on Sabasaba Day, the commander-in-chief of all peaceful protesters, because he can become the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the goons. You understand? Because actually it's commanding the goons plus his armed forces. But we want peace. So these policemen, look, the subsidies for their food has been slashed. Policemen are living in the deplorable situation. Go to Kileleshwa here. They will tell you, the policemen in Kileleshwa will tell you here, that in a bedroom, a bedroom for 2 families, they're living 4 families. A 2-bedroom house, 4 families are living there. Now, if you have a wife, how do you even have children if you have 2 bedrooms and you have 4 families? And that is, they are using policemen to make money because they want policemen to live in concentration camps. And as they live in concentration camps, they are paying rent to the government. Then they take money from the exchequer saying they are building for policemen houses, but they're not building anything. So this government is lying. Anytime you tell me Ruto said, I laugh at you. In fact, you should ask yourself, how can the best liar be believed? Excuse me, if you give a testimony from a liar in your village, will people take you seriously? No, I'm asking you.
Of course not.
But this year, you're giving us the best liar in Kenya. If you ask even young children.
But Kenyans selected him.
Yes, he lied to them.
He was not born yesterday, my
That's
brother.
why
he
we are
was
saying,
not born yesterday.
We are saying one term.
He's been a member of parliament.
No, we are tired of the man. We've listened to him. We do not want to listen any further. There is no time you are giving William Ruto. Time to do what? You know, the point is, why should we give him time?
To transform Kenya.
No, which Kenya
he has the agenda. He has the manifesto. He says that he has the vision to transform this country, my brother.
Fred, Ruto's biggest problem, that Ruto is grossly corrupt and grossly incompetent. And a grossly corrupt person will only have more corrupt people next to him. Look at his cabinet. The cabinet is now worth 22 billion. Like they're billionaires. Every one of the cabinets, if you count their wealth, they are billionaires. And I can count for you the billionaires there, isn't it? You know them. Why should I count? You know the one that Joho declared, the one that Kabogo declared, the one that Duale declared, the one Ichungwa declared, the one Ndindi Nyoro declared. Those people have crossed 1 billion mark, isn't it? Some of them are 5 billion. Like someone, if you're a billionaire worth 5.6 billion, why should you be in the cabinet? Become a businessman, create jobs. Fred, if I can become president even for one day, anybody who has hit 500 million worth and above, isn't it? They should become entrepreneurs, set up a business to give Kenyans job, not to come to government, do business with government. How can you compete on a tender with a billionaire?
Tell me, my brother.
They will buy the tender.
I hear you.
So these people are grossly corrupt. Ruto is making money left, right, and center. So I'm telling young people, if they come to look for money from you, they have stolen 11 trillion from you.
But even
so
who made it? Kibaki made it.
No. This is gross. You know what I call grossly corrupt? You know, Moi used to talk about 10%. Sivyo, this man steals everything.
That is President William Ruto?
Yes. You tell me.
You have evidence?
Yes, evidence is there. The evidence is simple. If you borrow 11 trillion and there is no infrastructure going on, is there any major infrastructure going on in Kenya? If you have one point, why do you have pending bills? And pending bills are growing, loans are growing, isn't it? And the debt is growing. How? It is impossible. Fred, let me talk simple economics that somebody can understand.
Yes.
A man at home, you tell your wife that you are going to borrow money to pay the bills at home. So you go and borrow 100,000. When you come with 100,000, what is happening that there are pending bills, nywele ya watoto have not been done, isn't it? Even hair for the kids, hair for your wife, house help not paid. Every bill is growing, isn't it? Yet again, after next month, again, you borrow another 100,000. So you have a debt growing at home of 100, 200,000, but the pending bills at home are growing, isn't it? And also you are borrowing. There must be something wrong. William Ruto is grossly corrupt, grossly incompetent. No need to give him even 1 minute. But if you ask me, if Ruto was running your company as the CEO, how much time will you give him? Because you are telling me, because it's a public fund, we need to give him more time, isn't it? If Ruto was your CEO, will you give him more time? Because you want to give him more time to rip us off because it's a public fund, isn't it? Ni mali ya umma, isn't it? Will you yourself, those people shouting, kumi bila break, I want to hear them. Those people like Raila Odinga saying, kumi bila break. If William Ruto was the CEO of Odinga family's property, will he give Ruto more time?
But the question is this, my brother, as we are winding up, those people who are saying one term, President William Ruto did not elect himself. Just the other day, they were singing, oh, Asora Pewe. You remember Uhuru warning people? Didn't we bring this, brought this on ourselves? Why elect somebody, give him mandate to govern the country, only to turn against him in less than 2.5 years?
Fred, I can forgive anybody who elected William Ruto out of knowledge. But I cannot forgive anybody whom with knowledge of the level of corruption, the killing, violation of human rights, still talks about Kuimbila break. That's where, Fred, I'm sorry to say, Raila Odinga is our elder. That's where I differ with him. Because I can forgive the Kikuyus who are cheated, who are duped. I can forgive religious leaders from Pentecostal churches who are cheated and elected
and
him.
Bought. They were being given money.
Yes, even if they were bought.
Going to say the truth,
but even if they are bought,
yes,
why are they even rejecting with their money now? So they're being given money and they're still rejecting.
Wameshiba.
Fred, hakuna kushiba, kunanga mtu anashiba. You know, hii tumbo ukikula asubuhi mchana inataka kila, so hakuna tumbo ya kushiba hapa duniani. Mbona Ruto yashiba yeye mwenyewe? So what I'm trying to tell you, Fred, I will forgive you for what you don't know. That's why Jesus said on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. But we cannot be forgiven for what we know.
You will not forgive Baba for joining President William Ruto?
That one I can't forgive him. Because even God won't forgive him. I'm Fred. Ojwang died. Ojwang from Homa Bay, shot dead, killed by the policemen, and Raila goes quiet. And this is where the problem is. Raila say we are in government, and he is in government. He is actually the second in command in the country, isn't it?
Raila is the second in command?
Yeah, Raila is a co-president, so he is, it's just that he has not been sworn in, so that's why I'm saying second, but actually he's the first. So Raila Odinga is a co-president. Raila Odinga, do you know why he does not even want to be any title? He's just walking red carpet. Under what title? Raila Odinga is a co-president. How can our son be killed when he's government? P.S. Omolo comes from Homa Bay. Our son has been killed with P.S. Interior, who should command Inspector General. How did Deputy Inspector General pick Ojwang, kill him, and I'm seeing Omolo just in the background smiling when cases are being said. Even when Murkomen was saying shoot to kill, he's just smiling next to him, isn't it? I am sad. And allow me to express my feelings. I'm not happy.
Please do.
If I'm not happy, I don't have to pretend. So I am not happy with the people who are watching while evil is taking place knowingly, and I can tell you, they know more than we do.
Most of Raila Odinga's supporters are asking themselves that Raila Odinga offer himself to be elected on the ballot. Kenyans refused, you know.
No.
From 1997, Raila's name was on the ballot. Kenyans said that ni maombi si uchawi. Religious leaders say that for the first time, they were having a candidate anointed by God. What is the problem if Raila decides to support the choice of God?
Fred, that's a narrative which is not true. In God we trust, the rest bring numbers. Raila Odinga won the election in the year 2007, isn't it? After that, others have been here, neither here nor there. In fact, Raila Odinga said it before SK Macharia when they were in Yalindi, that the only way time he thought he won the election was the year 2007. But let me come back home because I don't want to go to history. Truth be said, the people who slept on Homa Bay, in Homa Bay Stadium, for 24 hours, they could have slept in a polling station. Raila Odinga could be president. Those support Raila Odinga, they are hypocrites. Raila Odinga got 63% voter turnout in Homa Bay, isn't it? Kisumu was 65%. Raila Odinga needed only 18,000 votes to stop Ruto from getting 50 plus 1, isn't it? Those people are fans of Raila who are fake. They are hypocrites. They don't believe it. I drove my car from Nairobi all the way to Kenya to vote and came back, while some people are sleeping in the neighborhood just drinking changa. But let us be honest. Between sleeping in a polling station one night and voting for Raila Odinga and sleeping in the stadium for 24 hours to celebrate Jamhuri Day, which one is more important to support Raila? It is not true. Numbers don't lie, I can tell you. I was Nazimio one by one. Everything that needed to make Raila win elections were there. Raila was told, stop interfering with nomination in Luo Nyanza. It was more important for him, I don't know, my sister should be a governor here. I don't know, so-and-so should be an MP there. You must sacrifice something. Jesus was tried in the desert, isn't it? When he took Raila to the desert, watch a mambo interference. He could not.
But now, my brother, you've just said, even as you're winding up, my director is reminding me that our time is up.
Yes.
But now, as you've just said that if he offered himself on the ballot, Kenyans refused to elect him, and is now the second in command. Which one would you do if
Kenyans
you can still enjoy the power even without being elected?
Raila was told about the issue of agents in Mount Kenya, isn't it? He was given money by Uhuru Kenyatta to spend on agents in Mount Kenya. He gave the money to Junet and the team, and those people next to him ate the money. He gave money, I don't know, to his bodyguard. How should your bodyguard be in charge of distributing money for agents? These are mistakes being made. The Raila Odinga's children ate the money for nomination. You have those things in the media. Why are you asking me? Raila was given money by Uhuru Kenyatta, Gideon Moi, and the rest to use money for agents he gave to his family members. That money is lost. You had Junet even disappeared after the election. Did
you have evidence for that?
These things, I'm not the one saying it. They are in the media. If I'm lying, let the listeners go and check them out. And I told you second, Raila Odinga was told that mismanaging nomination will bring voter apathy. You understand me? He never listened. Even Ruto Odinga said that thing in Kisumu. You get me? By around 11 p.m. on the night of the voting, I was in Kisumu. I drove my car even to Kenya. The presidential agents had not received the presidential badge because of what? Mismanagement. In Luo Nyanza. You're getting me? People lost a lot of hope in this election. Raila mismanaged his election. But of course he argued, I don't have to have agents. IBC was supposed to protect my vote. He said that thing in a television. You heard that? He said that I don't have an obligation to have agents all over because why don't IBC protect my vote?
But isn't that the way it should be?
Okay, Ruto protected the vote he got and won the election. Sorry. And then lastly, what I'm trying to say, those who were saying they are supporting Raila Odinga, they are not genuine. Because if they voted to the last man, 1.2 million votes left under mattresses in Luo Nyanza. You get me? Go to Rift Valley. How many is left? Less than 20,000.
Tell me, who is the alternative, my brother? You are talking that Ruto must go. And then he's asking, so what? Then who comes next? Is he Rigathi Gachagua? Is he Kalonzo Musyoka? Who is the alternative?
At the moment, a lot of things going on. In fact, it might not be Kalonzo Musyoka. It might not be. We are talking about a unity candidate. Ruto going is Kenya versus the rest. That's why within opposition we are saying cousin means anybody who says one term. If you say one term, you are a cousin. Don't say cousin means Bantus. No, hiyo ni narrative ya watu wa government. When you believe in one term, you're my cousin. So are you my cousin? Then you are in one term. I am sure you don't know.
I'm here to make my decision.
Yes, but what's happening, my brother? Let us focus on building the leadership, not the leader.
And the emotional voting, where we vote people just because of where they are coming from. And
No,
how
that
much
will
money they're
happen.
supposed to give us, my brother.
What is so hard if opposition said Fred Ogola is their candidate? What will you do?
Do you have the finances? Do you have the financial muscles?
That is not the question.
To
I'm
take
saying,
William
what
Ruto
if,
home.
am I qualified, first of all?
Of course you are.
Once I'm qualified, don't you think I can give Ruto a hard time? Opposition is still building itself in unity candidate. That's most important. I know
Thank
people
you.
hurry. A candidate is known. Like even William Ruto, when he declared his candidature, 3 months of the election. Raila Odinga, when did he declare? 2 months and a half before the election. Why are you asking too early? 2 years and a half. Let Ruto prove that he deserves one term. Even this thing Ruto saying that he deserves to be given a second term. I'm sorry to say, even a man cannot be looking for a second round when they can do a first round.
You think Rigiji, who was talking about shareholding,
By
is the right candidate?
By the way, Rigiji is not going to be the opposition candidate, most likely. The reason is we don't want to climb mountains. You understand? Rigiji is just that guy who will cross the ball. Vile anasema mpira nani na mpira Rigiji na mpira alafu atapitisha.
You think so?
Yes, Rigiji mtu kutoa cross. And there'll be a very serious striker. You have not even seen him. You'll be so shocked.
Can Kikuyu support an Kikuyu candidate?
This time is about high cousin. Anybody who believes in one term is a cousin.
I hear you.
Yes.
You are parting short in 30 seconds.
My parting short is the following, that the Kenyan problem is not political. So let us focus on the economic solution, because the Kenyan problem is economic solution. And that's why I believe that uchumi mbele, siasa nyuma. Even if Ruto gets his one term and goes back to Sogoi, and you elect Jesus Christ, or even the Pope, and he cannot fix the economy, Kenyans will still come back and say, Ruto must go. Because Kenyans are simply asking for fish and bread, while Ruto is giving them a snake and a stone in the name of bullets. The person who will know the formula of feeding the 5,000 people, because even Jesus, in spite of performing miracles, he had to feed the 5,000. So that person who has the magic formula of feeding the 5,000 until crumbles are in 12 sacks, that is your guy. So Kenyans, do your due diligence. Do not elect a politician. Elect a professional, elect an economist, because a politician only knows politics. An economist like Kibaki can rule this country and will bring plenty within our borders.
Thank you so much, the People's Commissioner on the People's Bench. Thank you so much, dear viewers. It has been your #1 political and governance show, the People's Bench, brought to you from here in Gamesuits Riverside by me, Fred Ogweno. And until next time, we say bye-bye. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you,
Welcome.
my brother.
Yes.
Join the cousin.
Yes. We
Yes.
hope to do it again.
Yes. Thank you.
How was the bench?
The bench was warm.
Yes.